Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? If you would like to respond, you can comment in the post with this link. Good morning, good morning. This time I actually started on time. Please look at those math memes while we're waiting too, okay? Look at those math memes. They're pretty funny. Alright, I'm gonna wait like 2 more minutes here. 2 more minutes as so you should be getting onto Khan Academy. I realized I should wait a couple seconds because you should be getting onto Khan Academy. It looks like some people started on their number of solutions to a system of equations. That's good. About half of us did. You know, I still see a lot of I want to get full 28. Like the closest one is the systems of equations with graphing article. But we got to get more of these done. In fact, I made videos for all of these, so get it in, get it done. All right. But anyway, I'm going to click on. So I did these two yesterday, the number of solutions to a system of equations. I'm going to click on quiz 4. So this one's going to be all about linear equations. It's going to be various things about them. So let's go there. It's taking a second to load. Okay. So it looks like start quiz. Now something that we didn't do was converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, which I will show you how to do if we run into a question like that. 9 questions today. All right, we're going to do 9 questions, possibly more depending on how easy these are. Okay. So let me make sure that you can see the system of equations properly. I think you can. I can make that a little bit bigger though. Yeah, we can definitely increase the size of this. I'm dilating it, guys. I'm dilating the system of equations. There we go. Perfect size. And now I'm going to take my whiteboard and I'm also going to enlarge that. All right. Now we have plenty of room. Okay? Beautiful. Right there. So we got negative 12x minus 5y equals 40. So let's write that down. Make sure you have your pencil and pen. Or pen. Honestly, pencil would be better in case there are any mistakes. And then the second equation in the system was 12x minus 11y equals 88. Now again, the 3 methods we can use for this, I'll write at the bottom. We could either graph, which to me doesn't look like the easiest thing to do right now, but that's okay. We could either graph, or we could use substitution, or we can use elimination. Now, I hope you can think back to the past 3 days. All right, the past 3 days, these are the 3 methods that we used to solve a problem like this, which is called the system of equations. I personally am going to, I noticed something right away about the system of equations. I see that here we have opposites. Like anytime you write one of these equations, you're going to see it with your eyes that there's opposites there. So since there's opposites, I would like for you to point to the correct method that you think we're going to use in about 5 seconds. If you said elimination, you are correct, because we do have opposites, which means when we have opposites, we can just add that whole equation like I just wrote right there on the side. So add everything. So if you add together opposites, those will equal 0. So I'm going to do 0 with a little line through it, meaning it's not there anymore. Negative 5y plus negative 11y. So it's 2 negatives being combined, so we're going to get negative 16y. Because if you lose $5 and then you lose $11, that means you lost $16. Okay? Then we're going to add these two together. I believe that's 128. Okay? So you should have that on both sides of your equations. Good morning to whoever is here. All right? Good morning, good morning. If you are here, feel free to make a comment in the Google Classroom so I know. But yeah, on each side, to get rid of this, I shouldn't jump ahead. To get rid of this negative 16 coefficient, we're going to divide by negative 16. And This is elimination. We know that now. So negative 16 divided by negative 16, those equal 1. So you get 1y equals, and then the answer to this is going to be negative because we have 1 negative in the fraction. And then how many times can 16 fit into 128? I'm going to estimate that's 8. Let me try that real quick. 8 times 6, 48. 8 times 1. Yeah, it's going to be negative 8 when you divide. So y equals negative 8. Now you put a big box around that, and we are not done yet. We take this one solution, and we put it into one of these two original equations at the top. So I am going to pick, I guess it really doesn't matter which one you pick, but I'm going to pick the easier looking one, which is, I think it's the second one, because it has positive numbers, which confuses people less. Maybe it'll still confuse some people, but do you see how I substituted? Let's see if you can still see that. Yes, I substituted the value of negative 8 into y up there, right? So I'm going to move a little bit here. I think I still have room. I definitely still have room. Negative 11 times negative 8, that's going to be a plus 88. So you get 12x plus 88 equals 88. Oh, this one's going to be easy. This one's going to be easy. Where can I fit my work? Can I fit my work up here in this big blank space up here? I probably can. So I'm going to put a little bracket around this equation. So I'm going to take this equation right here, and I'm going to, what are we going to do to each side to get x by itself? We're going to take away this 88. So if you subtract 88 from both sides, this is criminally small. Subtract 88 from both sides. Those will cancel, and what will you be left with? You will be left with, on the first side, you'll be left with just 12x. And on the second side, you'll be left with, well, 88 minus 88 equals 0. So you get 12x equals 0. And if you divide by 12 on each side, you get x equals 0. Okay? So let's put a box around both of our final answers. We get x equals 0, y equals negative 8. So we did that by method of elimination. So x equals 0, y equals, I gotta move my keyboard, y equals negative 8. Check it. Hooray. We hit check and it says correct. Alright, next question. We are given, we're given some lines to graph. So let me shrink my whiteboard because we won't be needing it for this. And let's scroll down and take a look at this graph a little bit. Alright, we'll graph the 5x minus 7 first. So 5x minus 7, we're going to graph that first. So begin with b. So it said minus 7, so begin with minus 7. And then a slope of 5 means you're going to go up 5 units and then forward 1 unit. Boom. So I began with negative 7 and I moved up 5, forward 1. Let's look at the other equation. The other equation is minus 2x plus 7. So we start with plus 7, begin with b, and then minus 2x means you are going to go down 2 and then forward 1 because we have over 1, right? And if you look at this graph, I might have to zoom in. If you look at this graph, look at the intersection point right here, please. How come it's not letting me? There we go. It's not letting me paint with the pen. Come on now. I don't know why it's not letting me do that, but let's see. That point is forward 2 and then up 3. 2 comma 3 it looks like to me. 2 comma 3. Oh yeah, it's pretty clear on your screen too. 2 comma 3. Check. Hooray. You guys heard the sound of a correct answer, so there you go. Okay, hope you can see that. Wonderful. Let's go back. Next question. Okay, so here we have, I hope you can see that. We have a system of equations, and it says, is 2 comma 3 a solution to the system? Well, what we're going to do is here we just have to check if this is a solution. We don't have to solve. We don't have to do any crazy math. We just have to check if these numbers are a solution. So we're going to take these numbers that they say are a solution, and we're going to just input their values into the equation. So we have 2x, which really means 2 times 2, minus 3y, and the value of y in this problem is also 3, so equals negative 5. That's the first equation. Let's check that one. If this one doesn't work, then it's not true. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 minus 9 does equal negative 5. So check. The first equation definitely works. The second equation is 4 times x, so 4 times 2, minus 4 times y, which is 4 times 3, equals negative 4. Let's see if this is true. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So 8 minus 12, and that does equal negative 4. Check mark. So 2 comma 3 is actually, it worked for both equations. It is a solution of both. So yes, it is a solution to the system. You click yes and you click check. Alright, wonderful. Next question. Solve this system of equations now. So again, we could either use our graphing method or substitution or elimination. So I'm going to let you look at this system of equations, maybe copy it down first. Alright, I'm going to copy it down as well. So as you can see, the second equation, this second equation I'm about to write, x equals y plus 6, I really like when we have a really simple equation like this, like x equals a number, because what you can do is take this x equals this expression, put a box around it. Now instead of x, now you can use this expression up here, let's say. So let's write it down. I'm going to change colors because what's the point of not having colors if you have a bunch of them right in front of you? So this is the method of substitution, because I'm going to take this expression and substitute it here. Let's do it. 13 times y plus 6 minus 6y equals 22. Okay, let's use distributive property here. We get 13y, and then 13 times 6, what is that? If you do that on a calculator, it is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's 78. And then minus 6y equals 22. Okay, let's put a little dotted line because things are starting to get crowded up in here. A little dotted line down the equal sign. There we go. Let's combine the like terms. So 13y minus 6y is 7y. And then 7y, then we still have to put plus 78 after that. Put an equal sign on the dotted line, and then this is just 22, right? Let's get y by itself. Let's isolate y. So subtract 78 from each side. Let's try that. We get, I like doing this part, cross them out. You get 7y equals 22 minus 78. 22 minus 78. I gotta write that more clearly. I'm gonna let you do that on your calculator real quick. Well, I can do 78 minus 22. That's, oh my gosh, I gotta write that clear and small. There we go. That equals 56. Negative 56 in our case. Negative 56 because it's a small number minus a big number. And then divide both sides by 7. So I'm going to divide by 7, divide by 7. And let's see what we get. 7y divided by 7, that just equals y. Then on the second side, we have negative 56 divided by 7. That's going to be negative 8. So we got our, I got an idea. I got a really good idea. There we go. That's not going to work. All right. Our first solution was y equals -8. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and erase the top part of this real quick. So we got y equals -8. Do you guys see the second equation, which I will rewrite right now? The second equation, so y equals -8. The second equation is the easiest looking one. It says x equals y plus 6. So I'm gonna write that down again. X equals y plus 6. Well, we know the value of y now. All we got to do is x equals -8 plus 6. And that equals -8 plus 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, -2. So x equals -2. Put a box around that. And y equals -8. And I will draw a line between these two so that you can see. These are our two answers. Oh my gosh, I'm like scribbling all over the work. -2 and -8 in that order. So let's enter them. -2, tab, -8. Check. Hooray. Next question. How many solutions does this equation have right here? How many solutions? So the answer to this is we have two equations, which means we're going to have two lines. And there's three possibilities when you have two lines. So let me tell you about the three possibilities. Maybe you know them at home. So there's the possibility that the lines will cross because they have different slopes. So if you look at these two lines, how many solution points are there? There's one solution. I'm going to abbreviate. One SOLN. We know that means solution, all right? I think apostrophe is needed. All right? One solution, or the two lines can be parallel. If the two lines are parallel, then there's 0 solutions, or no solution exists. And then if they're the same exact line, so if there's one line, and then the other line is the same exact line, then that's infinitely many solutions. I'm going to write the full word when we are doing problems, but I don't have enough room here to write the whole word. So that's going to be one of the three possibilities. So I would like to take this moment to, let's graph this. Let's graph this by hand. I don't feel like switching tabs. All right, so I'm going to graph this by hand. So first and foremost, let's write down the first equation. Okay? Now I'm going to show you a real cool way to simplify this equation. Do you see a common factor in everything? Is there a common factor of all of these numbers? If you said 3, then you are correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole equation and I'm going to divide it by 3. Okay? So that means 12x gets divided by 3. That becomes 4x. 9y gets divided by 3. That becomes 3y. And 36 gets divided by 3. And I believe that's -12. So right off the bat, we already simplified the first equation pretty good. Second, we want to get rid of this. We want to get y by itself because we want to have y equals at the end. In fact, I'll write that down here. Y equals. So let's get rid of 4x and then let's get rid of the 3. Okay? Let's get rid of 4x. So you do that to both sides. Okay? What happens? You bring down 3y equals -4x minus 12. And I wrote it in this order because I like having the variable first. Okay? Next, we're going to divide by 3 on each side because we need to get y by itself, so we need to get rid of that 3. So if you divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, you should get y equals -4/3x. So here you don't even have to do any calculation, you just leave the fraction as it is. And then 12 over 3, well, that just equals 4. So we just took the first equation of the system and we turned it into slope-intercept form. So let's go to the graph widget and graph that. Let's begin with -4, and let's move with the slope. The slope is, what is it, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, forward 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, cool. We graphed our first line. Looks like this. Okay? Now we're going to graph the second line. So I hope you copied this down. If you didn't, you can pause the video here and catch up when we're writing the second equation. But you can pause the video here to write down this work. Okay? Next we got the equation 4x plus 3y equals -12. This looks familiar. Let's take away 4x from each side to get y by itself, because that's what we did on the last equation. Oh, this is the exact same equation. I hope you guys can see my work. Yep. This is the exact same equation. Look at this. -4x, -12, and then, yeah, remember, we divided by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. You get y equals -4/3 x minus 4. This is the exact same equation that we just graphed. I think. Let me look at it. Yeah. So this is a case where the pink and the blue lines live on the same line. And if they live on the same line, then remember, that's infinitely many solutions, yes? So you're going to click check. Hooray, we're done. We're done with that question. Ooh, this is a good old word problem. Good old word problem, which we practiced a lot. We practiced taking a word problem and turning it into an equation, right? Let's go with the blue marker this time. So I just made a peppermint tea in a cup that had like a few drops of coffee in it, and the combination of coffee and peppermint tea is incredible, everybody. It's so good. Okay. Michael, how do I close this pen thing? There we go. Michael is 4 times as old as Brandon and is also 27 years older than Brandon. So let's see. I'm going to use the variables m and b. We could use x and y, but you know, you have to be able to use these different letters as well, just so you don't get confused. So Michael is 4 times as old as Brandon. So that means that Michael and Brandon, who is older? Michael is older. That means that Brandon, you have to multiply Brandon by 4 to get Michael's age. So Michael is 4 times as old as Brandon. That means that you have to have 4 times Brandon's age to equal Michael's age. Okay, so m equals 4b. And then it says, and is also 27 years older than Brandon. So that means that if we take Brandon's age and we add 27 to it, we will get Michael's age. So Michael is a lot older than Brandon. Now we have 2 equations. Now check this out. When we have 2 equations, we have a system of equations. So you can put the little curly bracket there. And check this out. Are we going to use graphing, so GR, substitution, sub, or are we going to use elimination, elim? Which one? Take a few seconds to think. Which method will we use in this system of equations? Okay? Which one will we use? I hope you are at home and you are screaming at your Chromebook and you are saying, we have to use substitution. Because watch, we have m equals 4b. So we can take this expression 4b and use it in place of m. We can substitute it. So if you put that expression there in place of m, let's use a different color marker now. Let's replace that m with 4b. Let's substitute it. So we're going to write 4b equals b plus 27. And now we have used substitution. So now all we have to do is solve this equation. So a little dotted line down the equal sign, please. And we have to get b by itself. So I already have 4b over here. So let me get rid of this b right here. Minus b, minus b. This is going to be 4b minus 1b is 3b. B minus b, that's 0, and then you drop down a 27. So 3b equals 27. So that means that if you divide by 3 on each side, you get b. Let's see if you can read that. B equals, let's make that look like a letter B. B equals 9. So that means that Brandon is 9 years old. And then we could use one of these first facts. We can either use that Michael is 4 times as old as Brandon, or he's 27 years older than Brandon. So it depends. What do you like more, multiplication or addition? I personally think multiplying's faster, so I'm going to take Brandon times 4, and that gets me Michael equals 36. That's his age. So 36 years and 9 years old, right? So how old is Michael? We're going to pick M, which is 36 years old. I think, you know, I want to put 36 years, but I think Khan Academy will just say 36 is fine. And they did. Good. Good, good, good. We have a system of equations for this one here. So let's write it down. So I think I've shown you. Yeah, let's do this one algebraically. I keep wanting to do the graphing method, but you know, the graphing method is like the easiest method, and you just have to go to desmos.com and enter these equations, and it will graph both of these for you. So if you can do that by yourself, I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that, but I am going to do this one by algebra, okay? Okay, so check this out. We don't have opposites here, we don't have opposites here, and we don't have opposites here, but we don't have opposites in the variables. But I know that this 14x, I know that I could take this 2x, and turn it into the opposite of 14x. So the opposite of 14x is negative 14x. So I can multiply by negative 7 right here. And if I multiply by negative 7 with the distributive property, which I am allowed to do, watch what happens. Now I'm going to write both equations again, but this time, so I'm going to write the top one first. Let's write the top one nice and small. 14x plus 5y equals 31. And then negative 7 times 2x, that's negative 14x. So look at those opposites there. Negative 7 times negative 3y, that's positive 21y. And negative 7 times negative 29, I believe that's going to be positive 203. Correct me if I'm wrong. Post a message in the, a comment in the Google Classroom if I'm wrong, but I believe I'm correct. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So now that we have opposites, so there's our original equations, but we can use these as well, because that's our first original equation. Then I just changed the second one by putting multiplying a negative 7 on everything. But it's still the same equation. So 14x plus negative 14x, 0. 5y plus 21y, that's 26y. And then 31 plus 203, that's 234. This should be an easy division for the calculator to do. Oh, I think I could do this mentally. 26 fits into 234. I think it fits in there 9 times. You can check that with your calculator, but I know for a fact, because 26 fits into 260 10 times, but this is not 260. It's a little less, so I just guessed 9, and then I multiplied it, and it's correct. So y equals 9 is the first value. And let's find out what the second value is. So how can we do this? Let's use the first equation right here, because the first equation we never even changed. Like it actually, we could still use the second one, but I'm just saying, like, let's use one of the original equations just so you can see that I and we're doing it properly. So we got y equals 9. Let's take the first equation. Or do you guys think? Yeah, I'm gonna use this. I'll use this equation. I keep changing my mind. I'm not gonna change my mind. I'm gonna do it. Let's use the color black. 14x we got. Oh, that's too high. 14x plus 5y. So we know 5 times 9 we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna shorten my work. 5 times 9 is 45. Equals 31. And then let's get x by itself. So let's take away 45. We've done this many times now. So if you want to solve this equation by yourself, please go ahead. We are left on the first side with 14x. And we're left on the second side with negative 14. Okay? So if you divide by 14 on each side, you shall get, I'm going to write it on this side here, x equals negative 1. The reason we got negative is because, look at this, negative 14 divided by 14. X equals negative 1. So these right here are our two answers. X is negative 1, y is 9. So that's our one solution. Negative 1, tab key 9. Check. Next question. Ooh, this one I believe we can graph. We could answer this one without even graphing. Because, first of all, let's simplify the first equation, because the first equation has some big numbers. Think about what can you divide the first equation by? Should be pretty obvious, because they all can be divided by 5. That's correct. So let's do that. Let's divide everything by 5 in the first equation. Let's simplify this equation. So if you divide everything by 5, I guess I should write that step, right? If you divide everything by 5, you should get this equation. And then the second equation of the system of equations is 3x minus 8. So these two equations are identical. That means if we graph them, we will get the exact same line both times. So how many solutions is that? Is that one solution? Is that no solutions? Or is that infinitely many? If you said infinitely many, you are correct. Next question. Final question. Here we go. Final question. We finally have a word problem for a system of equations. Word problem. Last month, Michael breeds chickens and ducks. Last month, he sold 50 chickens and 30 ducks for $550. So let's see. If he's selling, that means that, oh, you guys can't even see the problem, can you? So if he's selling chickens and ducks and so forth, then we're going to have to write an equation that has C equals price of chicken, of a chicken. That's one single chicken. And D is the price of a single duck, not B. I'm like, momentary dyslexia I had there. D is price of a duck. If you've ever had duck, it's delicious. It's like a little bit more fatty than chicken. It's so good. But anyway, let's write the equation. So last month, he sold 50 chickens, so 50 times the price of a chicken, plus 30 times the price of a duck, equals 550. And this one we're going to use the easiest way to do it. I'm going to graph this, but anyway, 44 chickens, so 44 times C, plus 36 ducks, and this guy made $532. This month, I mean. So we're going to take both of these equations, but instead of C, we're going to use the variables x and y, okay? So I'm going to put x, y, okay? Because Desmos only likes the variables x and y if you're graphing. I don't know why. Okay, don't ask me. I've already tried to figure it out. So let's go desmos.com and click Start Graphing, and I'm going to shrink my picture so that you can actually see the equations. So let me shrink. Let me shrink even more. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Oh my gosh. There we go. Shrink it up. And then I'm gonna... Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that you can see the graph and everything. So here we go. So I'm gonna take the system of equations that we wrote, and I'm gonna type it up. So the first one we had was 50x plus 30y equals 550. So 50x plus 30y equals a total of $550. And then the next month, 44 chickens plus 36 ducks had a total price of $532. So if you graph both of these equations, this will tell you the exact price of one chicken and one duck. So if you look at my picture, I just clicked the intersection point, and the intersection point says 8, 5. So that means that 8, the first number is x, so the chickens equals 8 chickens, and ducks is 5 ducks. So D equals 5 ducks. Let me enlarge this and move this now. So we just saw the graph. So I took that point and I wrote my answer. C equals 8, 5. Wow, you can make that much money? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought that was how many chickens he sold. But no, this is the price of a chicken. So if this is a price, then that means this is $8 and $5. Wow, that's pretty cheap actually. You can buy a chicken for $8 and a duck for $5. Count me in. I'm hungry right now. All right, so let's answer the question back on the original page. A chicken costs $8 and a duck costs $5. What a deal. I gotta make sure you can see this. So I just entered those numbers, and I'm gonna hit the check button, and let's see what happens. This is the last question here. Hooray! And I didn't mess up any of them today, so I should be getting 100% here. Did I get 9 out of 9 correct? 365 energy points. Oh yeah, and if you got that, then congratulations to you as well. All right, I'm very glad that you're here. I'm very proud of you. All right, keep it up. All right, I'm gonna click done. Your assignment, I pushed back again. Just to remind you, I pushed back the due date of your incomplete assignment so far. So, please jump into your Khan Academy assignments. Looks like this. Probably looks like a little bit different for you, but jump into this screen and do all your incomplete assignments. All right, I have the answers for all of them. All you got to do is watch the video. You can fast forward. I think on YouTube, if you right-click the video, there's an option to change the speed. So if you want to play the video twice as fast because you think you already get it, you can actually change the speed to like 1.5, 1.25, or times 2. So you can double the speed of the video if you want. All you have to do is right-click the video, okay? Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.